Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Creating New Together, where over the past weeks we have been exploring and discussing aha moments and on a wing and a prayer and what they mean spiritually. And this week we're going to be talking about what happens when you have the wing and completely forget the prayer. So if you are just joining for the first time and you'd like some context about what we're talking about, there are some links on the Creating New Together Facebook page. There's some PDFs and links that you can read and follow and explore the teachings of Helen and John. And joining us today, we have Sonia from Hong Kong. We have Ola from New Zealand. She's going to keep an eye on your comments. Please feel free to share and participate. If you also have focused so much on trying to get something right that it's all just gone completely wrong, and again, had your wing, totally forgot the prayer. So before we get going, how about we do what we usually do and just take a few moments just to settle and breathe and close our eyes and see ourselves in a bubble of light, connecting to our hearts and our guidance and spirit. And just breathing to align and come into balance. And as we balance and connect, we can radiate that energy out into the world, sharing that energy of balance with others. And if everyone's okay, very good. And also after our discussion last time, which was all about healing our hearts emotionally, and from the perspective of self-acceptance and how self-acceptance is so important when it comes to healing our hearts. John and Helen have given us lots of teachings and tools around that, and we've had some learnings around honouring and a prayer, so we're going to share those today. So please feel free to share your experience as well as we have our sharing.
Yes, so last time, as Anita said, we were talking about healing the heart emotionally, and we got so caught up on the wing and disconnected from the prayer that we didn't really talk about that teaching much at all. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about it now, because it's a really important teaching, and the heart is the seat of the soul, and the soul brings into every lifetime what it wants to resolve, and the emotions it wants to bring wholeness to, and it works with us to resolve those issues and resolve whatever it is we've decided to come in, bring into this lifetime. So healing the heart is obviously really important because it's what the soul is here to do. It's what we're here to learn. So we really like looking back that we got so caught up with the wing, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that even when it was being talked about by one of our guests, it passed us by. We didn't really get into talking about it. So yeah, it was an interesting situation, and we all learned a lot from it, right?
Yes. Also, I feel the healing our hearts emotionally. What I did was healing our hearts because in my emotional was so trying to be focused on getting all the guests like a fair time to speak, and then so emotionally overwhelmed with the with so many people, I have to get it right. So it actually suck out the joy of following on a wing and a prayer. It's actually being trying to be fair, I become insensitive to everyone, especially when our guests talk about like how the heart and how self-acceptance is important for healing our heart, and all of this is just when I look at the living in a wing of prayer, but living in a wing for getting prayer, I laugh because for me it is a joyful experience. But when I was so focused on my emotional and getting it right, it just literally I wing it, but there was just no joy in it doing it.
For me, the biggest piece I realised was, besides the fact that I had a big aha moment, the aha moment was about on a wing and a prayer, because we were talking about it before, and on a wing and a prayer being about following our guidance, even though we don't know where we're being led, and not having an outcome or a destination at all. And not by getting caught up in the mechanics of things, that we've got 5 guests, we've never had 5 guests before, and the emotions get overwhelmed of wanting to be fair because we're so thankful for them sharing their time, that the flow of following the unknown and the destination, it all became about the destination. 25 minutes, the mechanics of it, and it completely cuts off the on a wing and a prayer piece, and it's like, oh, big aha moment.
Yeah, I realized because I wasn't on screen, I was in the background and I was focused on the tech, how do I make sure everybody gets enough screen time? How do I make sure all the comments come in? And my big aha moment was there's a big difference between focusing on details when they're coming from my head, that's saying, oh, I should do this, I need to do that, I must do that, I must make sure of that, and details that are I'm being guided by, that my intuition is guiding me with. So I realized that when I am focused on the details from my head, that it just, all of the energy just becomes this, and it's one pointed focus, and the whole connection is cut off. So the sense that we're a team was gone. So, instead of, you being open to the prompting, what you're being guided, and even what comments and who's saying what, it just you lose all of that. You lose the magic, and it becomes very mechanical, and that was just from 2 weeks ago, but that happens in life so much, where you're sure that you're doing something and you're focusing on it, you're doing it, and you want to do a great job, and then there's consequences afterwards, and you find yourself going, but that's not what I meant, because you get so focused, and because we cut ourselves off from our guidance, then we just lose. It becomes all head and mental stuff. And that was a really big eye opener for me, how easy it is to think that you're doing the right thing when actually everything is kind of going the opposite way that you'd like it to. That was really, really enlightening. Yeah.
Yeah, and also it kills the magic. Like the wing and the prayer is about joy, you know, it's all about joy, having fun, explore, and not having a destinations. But like Anita said, like we're trying to be like fair share to everybody. So we kind of like, we set the destination. There's no room for other spontaneous energy, no room for anything else. There's like no joy. And we're practically trying to get it right. It's like killing all the magical moment, all the aha moment, killing all the sparkles. That's what I feel.
Yes.
So has
go on.
anybody else had any experiences where you've ended up focusing on something so much that you've ended up cutting off the magic that spirit and the flow is offering? Feel free to share. We'd love to hear you.
There's a little video actually we could show, which is a piece we put together, and it's about what a wing and a prayer is. It's from when Helen was with us a few weeks ago, and we thought it might be a good idea to show it to you, so then you can see what it actually is, and then we can maybe talk about how it went when the prayer fell away. So have a little look at this. It's only a few seconds long, but it certainly is clear on what a wing and a prayer is. So what struck me about that is you get an affirmation that you're on the right path. I think, Sonia, you were talking the other day about prompting about when you disappeared from the screen.
Yes, it was. There was a prompting that I completely disconnected from the screen. Haha, disconnected. Of course, I was trying to do those things right. There's no connection to spirit. And that what also reminds me is that they can give us as many promptings as we want. But if I'm so focusing on like getting the message, you know, like when you're holding on an iPhone, there's a sign say there's a hole in front. You're so getting focused on sending a message, you just jump in the hole and you don't even know you did it. That was exactly that I feel, wow, that's a coincidence. And they may be sending us so many coincidences, but if my so narrow vision, they can be locking, you know, having the trumpet next to us, but we won't see it.
Yeah, Helen and John are always talking about rhythm and flow and allowing things to unfold, and that there's no time or limitation in spirit, and following our guidance. And yeah, if my experience of putting the magic and the flow of it into a box within time, within limitation, and initially I was thinking, oh, it's my head, but no, it was a tag team of emotional overwhelm as well. So yeah, it completely cuts off the magic and the journey.
Yeah, because like on a wing and a prayer, it opens the energy, and that's another thing that is really clear, because you can feel the difference between something opening and something closing. And that was something else that I learned was, you know, that closing down is a sign straight away that says this is not a wing and a prayer, you're winging it.
Yeah.
There's no prayer here. That it's a real opening up of the energy, and it's like it says, like a door opens more because something occurs for that door to open more. So there's it was a really great example of how it works in the opposite way. You know, it will just, you're closing down, it's not a wing and a prayer, it's opening up, and it's a whole different experience. Yeah. Sorry, just say a little comment here from Amanda. I think it's quite funny. She said, I'm sitting here nodding my head. Yes, we're all nodding our heads.
Yeah. And when I rewatched the video just now, is what is the worst standout is the fear. It's like when you have the fear, even your head say, oh, yes, I really want to be on a wing in a prayer, but you're not. What's really striking me now, if you're not willing to let go of the fear and trust, or not being alert to your emotions, how it's going to affect you. Like it doesn't matter how much I wanted to make it happen. The Google definition.
Yes.
It's not going to happen spiritually. It just is like the big aha moment is how the emotions has say, oh yes, we instead pretend, make a thing that we were actually on a wing and press. Actually, no, you're just winging it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, Anita. This is Helen says, trying to get it right closes the door. It slams the door shut. Yeah.
Put the lock on it.
Yes. Yeah.
And it shows just how important healing our hearts emotionally is, to being with that flow and that rhythm and with no destination. It's so important.
Yeah, it's the difference between you're either cooperating with it or you're not, but it's there anyway. So like you're either cooperating with that lovely journey the soul has taken you on, and maybe sometimes it doesn't feel so lovely, but you're either cooperating with it or you're fighting it. Like it's all about healing what the soul has brought in for us to each make whole again. Yeah.
And that magic of following our guidance into the unknown to wherever it is leading. If we take that massive opportunity and possibilities and potentials and journey, and if we keep trying to squish it into this time frame of a box with a beginning and an end, and everything within that has to be fair, that's just boring, really, and it doesn't work. We did that.
Yeah. There's definitely phrases that I can be more aware of. I think I know straight away. It's saying I'm in my head. There's such a difference between I think I know and a real knowing that comes from your working with your guidance. It comes from your intuition. They're worlds apart. Yeah.
Has anybody else had any experiences where they too have felt they've had the wing and forgotten the prayer, or we'd love to hear.
Yeah, there's got to be some good stories out there where done everything you can to get everything perfect, only to realize that maybe that's not what perfect is, that there's actually another way that it wanted to be that was perfect for you.
Like the rain falling and trying to tell the rain, hey, rain here in this box, in this. It's not going to happen.
And it doesn't say at the end of the video, it just say doing the job. It doesn't say doing the right job.
Yes.
Somehow we put. So what also big aha moment for me is that like the emotions were so strong that I was so worried about I would do it wrong and I would like not fair to the guest, like become like so overwhelmed by my own energy, by others. And Helen John always talk about protection of energy, and which I thought I did, but my fear kind of like, yes, I did it here, but then I open a hole here. Like, come on, from this size. So for me, that was also is about the allowing and really trusting, so that all is well. Every step that they show us is you're being taken care of. All is well, all is well. That was a big, big, big aha moment.
We have a question here from Sarupa. Sarupa says, could a clue be when we become so focused on me, which manifests in, I'm assuming, in India in so many ways? So could a clue be when we become so focused on me that we've stepped into winging it? That could be a huge clue. Yeah. Massive clue. Yeah.
Well, our heads and our emotions, they're.
Yeah, and that's wing and prayer is for others people. If focus on me is already like your biggest clue. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's also trying to get it right, and you really believe that you're doing it for everybody, and it's only ever about yourself. you know? So, yeah, so when we become really focused on me, we're definitely not on a wing and a prayer. Definitely not on a wing and a prayer. Because the wing and a prayer is of myself, I do nothing.
Yeah.
So there is no me. Yeah.
Because
Yes,
also focusing on me is like you focus on whether you do a good job, you're doing the right job. That's like when you do it for other people, it's not how you feel. It's not for you. It's can you benefit for other people? What is the outcome? What can you accomplish for others? So
yeah. Looking at like during our days and our weeks, what we do, how much of our emotions and thoughts are connected to time and structured in, we do this on here and this there. It's all very boxy, very compartmentalized. Whereas the on a wing and a prayer and spirit and the rhythm and the energy and the flow, it doesn't, we can't pick that up and put it in a box. It's the other way around, is we have to, I can see that, yeah, we have to let go and heal our hearts and get out of the compartmentalizing destination A to B, 1+1, and just go with the magic and the possibilities and the potentials that are available.
Yeah, it's different between, the box thing about limiting ourselves, and the opposite is the limitlessness of it. Because on a wing and a prayer, you don't know what's going to happen next. Anything can happen at any point, at any time. It's limitless. Whereas what you were saying, about the time, this, and this, yeah, it's more limiting. Yeah.
it's like you're controlling it. How anything happen when you're like controlling this and you're not letting it go. And it's like you're trying to have a firework, but you only tell the fire can only be on this part. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to see somebody achieve that.
So is it just us that have tried to get it so right, we got it all wrong, or is there anybody else?
No, I think it's just us.
No, just us. Well, we'll fly the flag for how that works and propose the opposite.
Yes, we were trying to be so right. We become perfect examples of what goes completely.
Perfect. The topic was healing our hearts emotionally, and it's like the emotions just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. We have a couple of people who are saying that never had it right. And Glynis says no, she thinks not. So I'm assuming she's saying that she doesn't always get it right, or try to. Or she's not always on a wing and a prayer. Correct me if I'm wrong, Glynis. And then Mandy says trying to get it right very much takes spontaneity out of anything. It's not much fun. No, it's no fun at all.
No, that's not fun.
Everybody's coming out with their confessions now. Amanda says, "Oh no, I'm an Olympic standard of trying to get it right and getting it wrong." I think we all are. And Helen is saying she gets it wrong often.
Yay, we're not alone.
Yes, we're not alone.
We could start a club.
Yeah.
Maybe we could go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel trust it always well. Trust we're taken care of, and trust we're always guided. That for me is a big, wow, big yeah. Big.
Wonderful. Well, on that note, we can meet again in another time along our unfolding, following the rhythm with no destination journey full of magic and unknown possibilities and potentials. And you can also keep an eye out on the John the Beloved Facebook page for next time. And thank you very much for joining. Feel free to keep sharing your comments and experiences. We'd love to hear about them. And until next time, be well.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.